What's up, guys? Deadman Bones here with a MHA What If. Now, I know this idea isn't technically original, but we're what ifers. And here I'm going to start you in with what if Deku was Spider-Man? Now, this ain't the end all be all for what if Deku was Spider-Man and such. There are others in YouTube. It's YouTube. But if you think I done goofed, please let me know in the comments. Just, I beg of you, be civilized. The story starts off almost exactly the same as the canon MHA, for as far as you know. And it strays when we get to where the students intend to go. Everyone laughs at Izuku except Bakugo. Bakugo gets pissed off. Lay off my boy Izuku. Yeah, that's right. First name, people. Did you forget he's the smartest son of a bitch around here? Hell, he even has a talent for making devices that enhance other people's quirks. He shows them a prototype of his gauntlets that made everyone go silent. He's applying for the support class, you dumbasses. Even the teacher did a double take for a minute there. Deku had an intellect that exceeded a college professor, and it showed in his grades. Not to mention that he worked at Oscorp, whether his school allowed it or not. Because, let's face it, a new library is a new library. They're not going to mess with Izuku on that. Now, Oscorp, as far as for you guys, is spelled with a Z, not an S, people. I know I don't have to do that, but it gives me more room to play, and since we're in Japan, I figured let's have some fun with it. The Oscorp owner, the one who runs it, is going to be Deku's aunt. And I'll get to her in a minute. But back to Bakugo. Bakugo's been Izuku's best friend for years and didn't join in the teasing of his being quirkless. Like he said earlier, Izuku is always the smartest person in the room. As far as mental flexes go, think Senku from Dr. Stone. Yes, people, he's on that level as far as his intellect goes. Now, it also helps that Bakugo's been dating his cousin, Maria, for, well, a couple of years now. Yes, people, I know what I did with the name. Don't put it in the comments, please. I don't want this video getting flagged over something as silly as a name. Now, Katsuki is still going to be the cocky dude you know and love or hate him for being. He's just not going to be a complete and utter asshole that I know him to be myself. He's going to be a good friend to Izuku, but if he feels someone's not worth his time, he's gonna let him have the full Katsuki effect. Now, we're gonna talk about his aunt for a moment. Ryo Ozawa, formerly a top hero in Japan. We're gonna make her number formerly 5. So she was known as Mizuchi back in the day due to her reptilic appearance. She has super strength, super speed, and she's essentially bulletproof since scales. Now, her daughter Maria inherited all of that, plus a water quirk from her father. So I think you can imagine all of that. So essentially we have a water dragon. But back to the point. Izuku essentially doesn't name drop Ryo often. He likes getting things by his own hands. Such as the time he reapplied for Oscorp under the pseudonym of Peter Parker. He was wearing this ridiculous getup. You know how anime and basic people refer to nerds and otaku have being like wearing these ridiculous glasses, these poofy, over baggy clothing, and his scraggly hair, he just let it go crazy, no product whatsoever. And he wore glasses that were huge. These put Clark Kent to shame. He gets in, he passes, but when he gets to meet Rio, she immediately recognizes him. I mean, come on. You'd recognize your nephew no matter what. Welcome to Oscorp, son, officially again. And never wear that get-up again. Now, back to the points of the teasing. It's gotten annoying to the point where Izuku would have considered quitting, but he's there for his mom and all of that, and yada yada yada. He's already gotten through all this time, he might as well finish. And, well, whenever people start teasing him for being quirkless, he essentially hears, I don't know if you remember Charlie Brown's teacher or any other adult in Charlie Brown. Wah, 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 wah. That's essentially what he starts hearing. Until people start saying things that are relevant again. And back on the point of the teasing, that's where Izuku's thinking, yeah, right, guys, a quirkless hero. I'm good in a fight, but I'm not that good. You heard that right, people. Quirkless heroes are a thing, but they're friggin' unicorns. The most heroic thing Izuku's done is maybe thrown the perfect spiral, got a decent jump shot, or even won a kendo tournament. But still, he's a nerd jock combo. It's a thing. The teasing was pretty much at the rear of his mind. He didn't give a shit anymore. Izuku himself didn't really get physically bullied, since are you really going to try to rough up somebody that could fire your parents and destroy your life with a mere utterance? These kids know that at the back of their mind. That's why they're messing with him. To make themselves feel better, to lift them up, and he knows that. So he's not going to give them the satisfaction. Not the point, and Izuku's way smarter than these kids anyway. He's got 2 friggin' PhDs. That's right, 2. Not to mention a bachelor's. Scratch that. We're going to give him an associate's degree in mechanical engineering. The PhDs are going to be physics and biochemical engineering. And before you ask, whoa, 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 how does a kid get all these degrees so quickly? For starters, he tested out of a lot of classes, and he has been around people with serious intellects since he was a little boy. And to top that off with him being a literal Poindexter when he is doing these degrees. I mean, still, he'd give a pretty girl glance, but then he would get back to the point. He did not have time for that distraction. Dude basically at this point had no aspiration for being a hero himself. What he wanted to do was help push young up-and-comers like Maria or Katsuki to the next level and help them go beyond. I mean, sure, he still looked up to All Might. I mean, what kid doesn't? Unless your name's Shoto Todoroki. But he really wasn't worried about the test. For him, the test was a formality. He was already accepted in the support class. He could fail and still get in. For all he knew, he would end up teaching the class. But as far as the hero goes, we're going to flash back to the point in time where Izuku was deemed quirkless. Inko is having that thought like, I failed my baby. If my quirk wasn't so weak, maybe he'd have one. Now without missing a beat. Izuku goes up to his mom, cups her face in his hands and says, "Don't worry, Mommy. I've got this. So what if I don't have a quirk? I'll take my mind and my body and push them to the limit. I'll make them my weapon. It'll be sharper than a samurai's sword." Now, this is where some people might get mad at me. I don't really care because it's my story. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Inko does not put on the weight. Because the way I see it, that weight was from stress. She thought she failed her boy. But in this instance, her baby is not feeling bad
at the front door.
At all. So the Inko you know from the actual MHA, she's still very much that Inko. She's loving, she's caring, she just doesn't look like the Inko you remember. Less subplot, let's get back to the plot here. Izuku decides to go to work. Now, there in Oscorp, he's got the juice. He is the man there. He's treated with respect. Dr. Midoriya, nephew of Ryo Ozawa, multiple Nobel laureate. In these halls, he's in his element. There are no bullies here, for him at least. He was ending his day when he bumped into a familiar face. Dr. Holman Schultz. Now, this is an international company, people, so of course we're going to have a lot of non-Japanese people in it. I can't believe I gave up my shot at New York for this branch. I had a sure thing there. Caught him wouldn't know genius if it hit him under the nose. Due to his rant, Schultz didn't realize that Izuku was so close to him and ran him over, causing poor Izuku to drop his latest experiment, a genetically modified spider that was capable of spinning silk with a tensile strength of steel. I think you guys know where this is going. For your perspective, Izuku is no average Japanese boy in this. He's 6'2" and about 200 pounds. He still has his green hair he inherited from Inko, but here's where we'll change what happens. I'm taking liberties with his dad. Inko met his dad at, well, Idegaba Beach. One day, his parents were career military, stationed from America, and he was enjoying himself. All I'm gonna leave you with on his father for now is that he's black.
Motion detected at the front door.
I'll let your minds do the guesswork as to who he could possibly be. Herman Schultz realizes... Why did I say Herman Schultz's full name? Herman realizes that he basically just shoved his boss's boss, and begins apologizing to Izuku. Izuku's a little miffed that he lost his best specimen, number 2099, but he doesn't let anger control him. This was an accident after all. Dr. Schultz, you don't seem okay. Would you care to talk it over with me over some lunch? Here's a scene just for you guys. 2099 crept into the hood of Izuku's lab coat. Yeah, I made it a hoodie. I thought it would be really intriguing, and it fits this Izuku. That sounds pretty bad, dude. Some of our more seasoned doctors can be a bit elitist, but they earn their cockiness. One quirkless to another, I must say. This tech of yours could be groundbreaking. Literally. This could revolutionize demolition work, Herman. I can put in the word for you and get you out of Dr. Cottom's lab. And in mine as soon as I can. Here's a challenge for you guys. See what I did there with Dr. Cottam? The thought of getting out of that abusive ass of a doctor's lab, being under Midoriya's wing, actually lifted Herman's spirits. The two finished their lunch hour and part ways, with Izuku telling Herman to keep his head down and under no circumstances let Cottam see his actual work. He couldn't prove it at this point, but he had a gut feeling that the doctor was up to no good and did not like him for it. Izuku goes off to Ryo's office and files the official paperwork for the paperwork to get him transferred. There's a lot of red tape here to maneuver through just to get Herman out and safe. Not even he can circumvent all of this. At this point, we skip to the scene we're all familiar with, the bite. 2099 bites Izuku. It vanishes. Izuku screams in pain and begins frothing at the mouth as he passes out. Izuku wakes up days later in his room at his aunt's home. Auntie must have been really worried if she didn't let me go to a hospital, Izuku thinks to himself. He walks to the mirror and is surprised at what he sees. His vision is perfect. And so is his body. Deku was by no means a slouch. Like I said earlier, he lived an active life. Dude now has Asta-level body. His muscles aren't All Might big, nor did he want that. But his muscle definition profile definitely increased. The door opens and Izuku jumps and, as you can guess, sticks to the wall. Ryo enters the room. Baby boy, are you all there? Are you there? Izuku? Izuku! I better call the guards. No, the police. Screw that, I'm calling All Might. Before she could tell the house AI that I will name at a later date to call All Might, Izuku speaks up. If you're wondering why Inko isn't here right now, she's basically what Pepper Potts is to Tony before they get married and all that to the Ozawa family. She's basically the family's PR lady. Now then, Izuku says that won't be necessary, Auntie, but I seem to be stuck. Ryo looks to the ceiling and sees nothing. That's right, people. He's invisible. Izuku is panicking, and so is Ryo. He manages to calm himself
Motion detected at the front door.
And darn it, he manages to calm himself down and drops in front of Ryo and turns visible again. Ryo blinks her eyes in a shock. How did you do that, sweetie? Now Ken and Izuku would go, I got a quirk! This is where we're gonna do something entirely different. Auntie, I think I've been mutated. We're gonna have to run some tests on what I can do now. Izuku says in both wonder and horror. On the plus side, he has some awesome spider abilities, but for all he knew, he could become some sort of spider monster. And that's where we're going to leave it. What do you guys think?